Percy was enjoying life at the big station. He worked hard keeping the yard tidy, and every morning he would say hello to the Fat Controller. But one morning Percy couldn't find the Fat Controller. The only person on the platform was the inspector. "Excuse me, sir," he asked, "where's the Fat Controller?" "He's gone on holiday," the inspector replied, "and I'm in charge until he returns." Percy was puzzled. "What's a holiday?" he asked Edward. "It's when you take time off from work," said Edward, "and visit somewhere new for a rest. My driver likes the seaside. He can watch the boats build sandcastles or go paddling in the sea." Percy became interested. Going on holiday sounded like fun. "I wish I could go on holiday," he told the others that night. "Don't be daft," huffed James. "Engines don't have holidays." Percy snorted. Gordon was sent a crew to be mended, just like Henry. He had a rest, and he saw something new. That sounds like a holiday to me. The other engines laughed, but Percy took no notice. The next morning, the weather was wet and miserable. None of the engines wanted to go out, but they knew they still had work to do. Percy arranged the coaches at the station. Then he brought empty trucks to the harbour. A big ship was waiting to unload his cargo. Percy stood at the end of the quay and waited for his trucks to be loaded. He stared out at sea and began to imagine himself on a seaside holiday with bright sunshine and no clouds in the sky. "Wake up, Percy," said his driver. "They finished loading. We can go now." Percy tried to move, but the rails were slippery and the trucks were heavy. Go on," he puffed. We won't," giggled the trucks. The fireman released the sanding gear. Percy puffed and slipped and slipped and puffed, but the trucks hardly moved. Percy was stuck at the end of the quay. "It's no good," grumbled the driver. "We need more sand." The dock workers brought over a sandbag and began shoveling sand under Percy's wheels to help him grip. "Ugh!" complained Percy. "I've got sand in my brake shoes." "Come on, Percy," urged the driver. "Keep going." Percy pushed harder. Very slowly, the trucks began to move. Inch by inch, Percy moved the heavy train off the quay and towards the station. At last, they made it. "Well done, Percy," smiled his driver. "You deserve a rest after that." "Thank you," gasped Percy, and he rolled to the water column. It took his driver and fireman all afternoon to clean the sand from his wheels. That evening, Percy told Edward all about it. "Well, Percy, it sounds like you had a seaside holiday after all," chuckled Edward. "I suppose I did," said Percy, "but if going to the seaside feels like that, I don't think I want a holiday after all. It's far too uncomfortable."
Toby the tram engine had been brought to run the line to the quarry. This was because Thomas had gotten into trouble with a policeman for not having cow catchers and side plates. Thomas was pleased when Toby arrived, but he was still worried. "You be careful, Toby. That new policeman might get you into trouble too."
"Whatever for? I'm always careful."
"Maybe you are, but the policeman might not agree." Thomas was right. A few days later, Toby met Bertie at the top station. "Huh, that silly policeman," Bertie fumed. "He gave me a ticket for driving too slowly. Driver told him we have to be careful along these narrow roads, but he just wouldn't listen."
Said Toby. "He does sound rather strict."
"You're telling me. Someone should teach him a lesson." Every day, Toby and Henrietta take the men to work, and then bring stone trucks down from the quarry. Along the way, they stop at farm crossings and stiles to give farm workers a lift to the station. The farmers found this useful, until one day Toby met the policeman at the crossing. He saw the farmers waiting and rang his bell to warn them. But the policeman was passing by, and it made him jump.
"Oi, you! What do you think you're doing?" "I'm sorry, sir,"
said Toby.
"I'm just picking up passengers." "Well, you can't stop here. This isn't a station."
"But we want to get on," argued the farmers. "It's too far to walk."
"That's no excuse. Either you find a bus stop or I shall report the lot of you. And that goes for you too," he added.
Toby puffed crossly away, leaving the unhappy passengers behind.
"Thomas was right," he thought. "That policeman is far too big for his boots."
He began making a plan to teach him a lesson. Next day, Toby met the policeman at the junction.
"Good morning, sir. I'm so glad I found you. On my way, I saw some people had left their cars outside the church. They're not supposed to park there, you know." "Oh, really?"
said the policeman.
"We'll soon see about that."
He hopped on his bicycle and set off up the road. He wasted no time in writing parking tickets for all the cars. As soon as he had finished, he heard someone shouting, "What do you think you're doing?" There was the vicar and his congregation. They all looked cross.
"I'm sorry,"
said the policeman,
"but you're not allowed to park here."
"But it's our Sunday service," protested the vicar. "We're not in anyone's way."
"Don't argue or I shall report you to my sergeant." "Well, here I am," said an angry voice. "And the vicar is quite right. You're the one in trouble, not us."
Soon after that, the policeman was sent packing, and a new constable took his place. Everyone was pleased, especially Thomas and Bertie. "What a clever plan," laughed Thomas. "Thank you, Toby. We are glad the Fat Controller has brought you here."
"So am I,"
smiled Toby.